Suppression polls, it looks like there's a lot of them right now. So suppression poll is a poll that somebody puts out. They probably do some dirty tricks to it. And the idea is to drive a negative narrative. There's been a lot of really great examples, although I have to say this year is giving 2020 a run for its money. But a really good example, not that long ago, Fairleigh Dickinson did a poll that showed that Harris was beating Trump nationally by 1 point. And then further in the poll, they asked a bunch of questions about gender and race on purpose to see if it impacted how people responded to the matchup question. And then it showed that Harris was leading by 7. And then immediately, The Hill took that headline, Harris +7 number, and ran with it as though that was the actual race. And there's no way. And another really great example that, yeah, go ahead.
Hang on, let me just, for the audience, so they get the lingo down. I think that's called a push question.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that what they call that? Okay, so
That's
you do the initial, where is the race, and then you ask a bunch of questions that are going to basically make it more favorable to whoever you're pimping, and then the push question. So rather than do the matchup, they did the push question, right?
100%, which is why you put matchups in the beginning of the poll. One of a million dirty tricks that pollsters can do. But there was a suppression poll right there in that clip. If you go to Real Clear Politics aggregate, which I think they use very even-handed standards to determine who they let into their tracker, I think it's a pretty fair representation of all the polls that are out there. They show Harris leading by 1.8, but in that clip, they show Harris's average is actually +3 over Trump. So already they've done something selective there to get to Harris +3 in their segment. Just the framing of how they put that segment together was really scummy and dirty. But there was a poll out, ABC Ipsos, that had Harris leading by, I think, 4 in a two-way, 6 in a multi-way. I don't know. It was a lot, right? Pretty close to Harris +3. But if you look in the internals there, they have favorability number by candidate. They had Harris with a +3 net favorability and Donald Trump with like a -24. This is the man that received more votes than any Republican in history. And you're telling me in this 2024 poll, he's been around for a decade. Everybody knows who he is. There's not many people who are undecided about Donald Trump. You're telling me that he's got he's got only a 33% favorability rate and yet is somehow taking 46% of the vote? There's absolutely no way. So you show me polls that have Harris +3, +4, +5. They are doing something
so what
to
that,
get
let
to
me
that.
just as a.
I just wanted to show you guys that little bit because, in the town hall yesterday, he actually addressed that very thing. And I've been saying this for a while, and make sure you guys are sharing these types of videos with your Republican and conservative friends, family, neighbors, all right? Because the whole purpose is to discourage you from participating. Oh, well, Trump's about to lose anyway, what's the point of me going out to vote? Like, that's the whole purpose, to make sure that you stay home. Forget about it. I'm in a red state. Trump's up. Forget it. Or, hey, I'm in a swing state, but, they're telling me that Trump's down by 10. So, my vote ain't going to matter. I'm just going to sit this one out. That's what they want. You to stay home.
ABC is the worst network in terms of fairness. They had a poll where I was 17 points down a couple of days prior to the election. I was 17 points down in Wisconsin. And they do that so people don't vote because, hey, I love Trump, but he's 17 points down. I'm not going to go out and vote. I was 17 points down and I won. And I called the best pollster. I said, why wouldn't they say 5 or 4 or 3? Because at 3, you go and vote. At 17, your people say, I want to vote, but, I'm busy. I have other things to do. Let's go see a movie and we'll watch the results later. They are the...
So, yeah, you heard that there. And I'm happy that Trump addressed that in public. Because, like I said, I've been saying that exact same thing for several videos now. Probably this is about like my 4th or 5th video now talking about that, because I don't want people to be discouraged. I want you to be encouraged. I don't want you to be comfortable and think that, oh yeah, well, Rich told me Trump's got this in the bag and Trump's actually winning, so, you know, we good. Like, no. And that's why I always tell you, if we relax, those fake polls that they showing you, they will become reality and Trump will lose. This is just to make sure that nobody is discouraged from going out and voting. And, you know, them doing this really illustrates how desperate they are as well. And, you know, I said this. They are going to pull out all of the stops. And I heard about something recently. Now they're bringing out the whole Russia thing again. You know, in accusing, you know, Russia of being or interfering somehow, some kind of way. Which maybe they are. I'm sure other countries have tried to as well. America is like the center of the globe, basically. You know, a lot of people look to America to see what's happening. You know, funny thing is, I was talking to some people from the UK, and they were like, yeah, we watch American news. I was like, bro, I've never watched UK news a day in my life. So that was always interesting to me after I heard that, like, wow, the world watches like our news. Like some people in the UK have American news on their televisions. Like that's wild. But yeah, and this is one of the reasons why, you know, they are so desperate. Check out this clip right here.
I was so honored today.
And she wants a path to
his brother endorsed me.
I saw it.
And his whole family. I saw the picture. And honestly, it was a very nice looking family. But his brother endorsed me and the whole family endorsed me. I said, who are all the people?
Let me play
tell you, there's something weird with that guy. He's a weird guy. JD is not weird. He's a solid rock. I happen to be a very solid rock. We're not weird. We're other things perhaps, but we're not weird.
So yeah, what you just heard him say there is Tim Walz's family has endorsed Trump. Yeah. And, you know, this is noteworthy. Well, I'm not going to get into that yet. I'll get into that part afterwards. But this is noteworthy. Tim Walz's own family, his own brother, basically is saying he ain't voting for Tim. He didn't exactly say he was voting for Trump, but I'll get into that a little bit later. I want to show you guys this clip. But once again, this is why they are so desperate and why they are pulling out all the stops, right? You know, from the busing people to the rallies for Kamala, which I saw another situation where they were allegedly busing people, where there was these giant buses leaving the vicinity of where her rally was. Interesting how that works. The whole, well, the assassination attempt, we don't know exactly who did it, but we got a clue, okay? 2 + 2 is 4. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck, you know what I mean? But full disclosure, you know, we don't know with 100% proof. That's just a fact. We're just assuming. Now, it's probably a good assumption, but we're still just assuming. When you have them coming out and saying, oh, Russia, Russia, Russia again, it's just like, and I think actually a reporter even like pointed that out, like that they have said this before. And wasn't there like a report that came out that said that, who was that? I could have swore there was a report a while back that actually even like said that Trump never colluded with Russia or something a while back. But anyway, I want to show y'all this because once again, this is why they're desperate. Everybody is leaving, including people from their own family. And in this case, Tim Walz's.
News Nation's Rich McHugh spoke exclusively with Jeff Walz, and he joins me now. Rich, what did he have to say?
Hi, Elizabeth. So I spoke with Jeff Walz for about 15 minutes this morning by phone. He said, look, he wants to clarify some things. He never intended what he wrote to be viewed by a national audience. It was on Facebook and probably the wrong forum. That said, he did not shy away from his words. He said everything he wrote is true. Take a listen.
It wasn't my intent. It wasn't our intent as a family to put something out there to influence the general public.
In an exclusive interview with News Nation, Jeff Walz, brother of Democratic VP candidate Tim Walz, says he wants to set the record straight after criticizing his brother Tim on Facebook, saying he's not the type of character who should make decisions about our future and that he's, quote, 100% opposed to all his ideology. Former President Donald Trump quickly pounced, praising Jeff on Truth Social, writing, "Sounds like a really great guy," despite saying to his Facebook friends that he had thought long and hard about endorsing Trump on stage. Now he tells News Nation he wants no part of the election.
And we're not campaigning or anything for him or against him or anything like that.
Jeff, who is a registered Republican and donated $20 to Trump's 2016 campaign, stands by his comments that he disagrees with his brother.
I will say I don't agree with his policies.
But he says his posts were intended to rebuke rhetoric that he was ideologically in lockstep with the vice presidential nominee.
It was a post that I made because I was getting a lot of feedback from my friends, old acquaintances, thinking that I was feeling the same way that my brother did on the issues. And I was trying to clarify that just to friends. I used Facebook, which wasn't the right platform to do that for.
Jeff Walz says he hasn't spoken to his brother in 8 years.
There was just no contact either way. And it's too bad, I guess, that it worked out that way because he is my brother yet and everything. And I guess, you can disagree and still be civil brothers.
And he was surprised to find out about the nomination on the radio.
I will stand behind this 100%, was that we felt bad that we found out about his being picked as the vice presidential candidate from the radio on the way back from a trip a few weeks ago when it was announced. And we felt like we probably should have been given a heads up and some type of security, at least for a short time, because I guess that is a big thing.
He says there are no bombshells.
The stories I said I was referencing, I'll give you one example. We talked about it before, that my little brother, when we were younger, we would go on family trips and in a station wagon, and the thing was nobody wanted to sit with him because he had car sickness and would always throw up on us, that sort of thing. There's really nothing else hidden behind there. People are assuming something else.
And this is the last the media will hear from him.
There is going to be no further statements to anybody.
Now, the Harris-Walz campaign did not respond to our request for comment. I did ask Jeff Walz who he'll be voting for. He said, "I'd prefer not to say." Elizabeth?
Sounds like Jeff is trying to back out of that political spotlight as quickly as he inadvertently backed into it. Rich McHugh, great reporting.
Now, I want to touch on a couple things with that. One, I love how he said, he's still my brother. And that's a fact. Like it, love it, hate it. That's still flesh and blood, his brother. That's still his blood brother. And I love the fact that he said that. Because most of all, you don't get that from a lot of folks on the left. It's interesting how that works because people on the left always say, oh yeah, we're the love we love. And, joy is now one of the things that they're running on. But they're supposed to be the love and peaceful and, everybody's included side. But the moment you disagree, all that goes out the window, including for people who are blood related. So I love the fact that he said that. Now I will be interested to hear what Tim Walz had to say, but of course they aren't going to reply to it, unfortunately. But also one thing that he said at the end, and why I think it gives his statement a lot of weight, is the fact that he said, "Hey, this is the last statement I'm going to make. I'm not interested in all the charades and being on the media tour and everything else. Like, I just want to live my life. I made a statement on Facebook. I still stand behind it, but I'm not interested in a bunch of publicity. So this is it. You got me this once, but you'll never hear from me again." He's not interested in scoring any political points. He's not interested in making $1 off of, bashing his brother's name. So that's why I feel like this has a lot of weight to it, because you don't see that from a lot of other folks. You look at somebody like Mary Trump. You see her on all the networks now, right? She's everywhere. And I'm sure she's being paid to do so. She's interested, at least it seems like she's interested, in my humble opinion, in the spotlight, which I think gives a little bit less weight, or a lot less weight, to what it is that she has to say. Or anybody, from Trump's family. Like, I think his nephew said something as well, and been, in interviews. But I think his name is Jeff Walz. Yeah, Jeff Walz. It's like, yo, this is it. You're not hearing from me again. This became bigger than what I had hoped. I probably even shouldn't have said it on Facebook. I still stand behind it, but I should have said that on Facebook, because now it's blowing up into this whole thing, and I'm not really interested in it. So I think that holds a whole lot of weight, just based off of that alone. But here is what he had to say in that post. It says, help MAGA get on stage with President Trump and endorse him, help save this country. Liz, I've thought hard about doing something like that. I'm torn between that and just keeping my family out of it. The stories I could tell, not the type of character you want making decisions about your future. Yeah. And he said he stands behind that. He stands behind that. He is not the type of character you want making decisions about your future. That was his statement. But, he's chosen to stay out of it, and I respect it. Would I have loved if he would, got on the campaign trail with Trump? Absolutely. Absolutely. That would have been iconic and hilarious. But, I respect his decision to keep he and his family out of this entire situation. I respect it. I'm not mad at him. Okay. I'm not mad at all. This is a free country, and I believe in freedom. Unlike the Democrats, right? Kamala and Tim Walz want to ban freedom of speech and misinformation, which is, whoa. Let's hope they never get in office. Let's ensure they never get in office. But, he has the right to stay at home, and I don't blame him, because politics can be a dirty situation, a very, very dirty and nasty situation. But also, here is the picture as well that was leaked. I don't think this was meant to go viral the way that it did, but it has gone viral. Nebraska Walz for Trump. I love it. So yeah, interesting times, man. When your own family is turning their back on you, and it's not for the money, it's not for the fame, it's not for the notoriety. He just was making a statement. And honestly, it was a statement that wasn't even meant to be public. So I think it gives a whole lot of weight. You got to give a whole lot of weight to that, and no weight to folks like Mary Trump, who get in front of a camera every chance that they get. I don't give any weight to that. You're probably being paid. I would assume you're being paid. So yeah, no. I give a lot of weight to somebody who says, what, this is the first and the last time you'll hear from me. I shouldn't have even made that post on Facebook. I still stand behind it, but I wouldn't do it again. This has brought way too much attention on my family and I that I wasn't ready for. I didn't want, I respect somebody like that. But as always, you let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.